Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sundazed and Confused. Number 39, it's Let's Be Buds, and he's in the house today. It's Uncle Rick. We're gonna have a show going over the Last Prisoner project that we have coming up. And before we get into all that, we will do our normal Sunday and go around and say hello to everybody. I did want to take a quick moment to mention that you'll notice PUFFYD is not with us. He has decided to take a different route on his Sunday afternoons and his Wednesday evenings. And we want to wish him the best of luck, and hopefully he'll be able to stop by in the chat and maybe come and visit us when he can. So without any further ado, we'll head on over and start with ladies first. Crispy.
Hi, everyone. Glad to have everybody here, all the chatters, Uncle Rick and WEEDNERD. This is going to be so awesome hanging out with you. I'm Crispy Wannabe. You can find me here every Sunday and Wednesday. You can also find me on YouTube and Instagram and over at Coco for Cannabis. Take it away, WEEDNERD.
Yeah, cheers, gang. Thanks to Uncle Rick there for showing up and showing us or talking to us about the Last Prisoner project there. I think we got some nice stuff to show you there on the website and all that. So yeah, cheers to Chad, cheers to Small and Crispy, and let's get this going.
Oh yeah, so the man of the hour, Uncle Rick. We've become really close friends in the last few months with this project and some other stuff. And I gotta say, it's been wonderful, man. It's for a good cause. It's brought a lot of people together here in the community, and it's continuing to do so. And you're the mastermind behind it all. So cheers to you for coming up with this and for getting us all involved.
Well, I really want to thank you for that very generous welcome. And I would like to think I'm the mastermind, was the mastermind behind it, but I'll get into that in more detail. But I really want to thank you for an opportunity to drop by and share the story of the Last Prisoner project. So thank you so much.
Oh, no problem, Uncle Rick. We like to sit here on Sunday afternoon, smoke some buds, and I always tell people it's serious but fun, man. We like to have a good bit of fun, and this is a serious but fun kind of event for us because, like I said earlier, we get to hang out with our friends, and it's been bringing us all together. But yeah, man, it's a big deal. So for those of people out there that might not know, the Last Prisoner project is for people with nonviolent cannabis related offenses, and that's a big deal, man. And I Uncle Rick and all of us have said in the past that it's people in jail for something that we're all doing, and there's people out here in the free world making millions for the same thing that someone is in jail for, and that's just obviously it's asinine. So yeah, we're trying to bring some awareness, maybe help facilitate some change and some stuff like that. But I'll turn it over to Rick here, and he can maybe if you don't mind, we can jump in here and kind of give people the rundown starting from the beginning. I know you're going to do this a few times today, right? You got a big day lined up. We'll get into that too. You can tell everybody where they can find you all day long.
Okay. I want to start off just by acknowledging chat. Sometimes I get so involved in these things, and I never ignore chat. It's just that it's really hard to focus on too many things at a time. So Indica B, great to see you. Seed Person, so many familiar faces. Kingfisher, Scrubs, Shrubs, thanks so much. As a matter of fact, Scrubs, he'll be going to the Virginia. I believe there's a cup coming up in Virginia, and he's going to be shouting out the Last Prisoner project. So yeah. So where do I start? Well,
how'd you get started in all this, Rick? Maybe we could tell people that. How did this come about on your radar?
Okay, so yeah, that's a great place to start. Thank you. So I started this channel originally because I felt cannabis has done so much for me. Believe me, there's been highs and there's been lows. And during the chatathon, I'm going to be sharing a few of those lows. I was busted 5 times, convicted 3 times. You'd think I'd learn, but no. The passion, when it's inside of you, it's so hard to let it go. So in gratitude to and then meeting this community has just been mind-blowing and life-changing. I was thinking back to when it all started for me, the social or the all of the podcasting and this incredible community. It was December, I think it was December the 15th of 2019, and it was just amazing. So anyway, it
It's
developed from there. I
it's
wanted to
moving
start this.
fast for you, Rick. That's not that long of a time, and you seem to, have a good foothold in the community. And look at the change you're starting to make here. So, cheers to you. That's like in relative. That's a relatively short time, 3 years. And yeah, that's pretty cool, man. You're making big strides in a short amount of time.
But we had, and I think back to the COVID thing, and and it was a hardship for many people. I mean, a serious hardship for many people. But for me, it was almost not a blessing, but it just, the timing was almost perfect for me to meet all of you wonderful people. So that's why I started the channel. I want to figure out a way to give back, and in giving back, giving people an opportunity, another platform to share their knowledge, and just get together and have fun. And so then, but I thought, no, I'd like to get involved in some type of a charity. That's an even better way to give back. And so I started looking into it, and then I was coming up against some roadblocks, in the sense that I live in Canada. Our audiences are, well, worldwide for that matter. But in order to set up some type of a charity, then you need lawyers, then you need accountants, and then it was just getting a little too overwhelming. So I thought, okay, we're going to back away from that. And then I thought, well, how am I going to raise money? And my thought was, I'm gonna sell T-shirts, and I'm gonna put a logo on them, and I'm gonna sell a T-shirt, and I'm gonna make $2, and then I'm gonna donate that to charity. And I thought, yeah, that's I can do that. And then I met Baked in the Bluegrass, and we started collaborating on a few things. And I told him about, that I'd like to get involved with some type of charity, and he said, why don't we do a chatathon? Why don't we do a telethon? And I thought, geez, that's cool. That'd be a great idea. And with him supporting me, I thought, well, worst case scenario, he can just take over and he can talk on his own for 12 hours. But I thought, hey, with him and me together, we can do this. So then there was a conversation we had with Spartan Grown, and he brought the Last Prisoner project to my attention. And then the more I learned about the Last Prisoner project, the more I thought, wow, this is something we can all get together, all get behind. Good to see you, Cheddar Bob. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. And that's how it began. And then I thought, okay, well, right now I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm a guest on your show, and I'm honored to be here, but it's just a little bit different than being on my own show. Where was I going with that one?
Oh no, it's all good. Shit, man, Rick, we got all kinds of time to smoke and talk about whatever and relax and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I know what you mean. I go on other people's show and I get like nervous and butterflies, and then when we come on here, it's like I don't get that like I used to, and it's that still happens. I know what you mean, and it's not. I feel like sometimes I'm going to trip my words up, or like you do. Like I lose my train of thought. I start getting on something like, where the hell was I going with that? Yeah. So, but you mentioned the chat. I always like to stop and say hi to the chat, because without the chat, these shows aren't shit. So cheers to the chat. Thanks for coming, supporting Uncle Rick in our show, and mainly the Last Prisoner project. And we hope that you will go over to Let's Be Buds channel and make sure you subscribe and set a reminder. That way you will definitely be able to go and you can set the reminder, a notification for the actual event, as well as his shows and stuff. So it's all good information over there. It's a good vibe on your show, Rick, and I always enjoy myself. I'm sure everybody else does in the chat as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think I may be going back to what I was talking about. Maybe not, or maybe there's just a brand new thought. Well, here we go. Yeah. So my background, is sales. That's where I've spent the majority of my career, was in sales. And I learned early that it's pretty tough to sell something you don't believe in. And like one of my gigs was life insurance. I believe it was about 2 years that I sold life insurance, but I became known as the person that, hey, you want to know anything about life insurance? Just ask Rick, and guess what? Don't worry, because he'll never try to sell you. And that's and I learned a
Oh,
lesson
yeah.
from that. That because I was so young at the time, it was hard to relate to death, and I just didn't believe in the product at the time. Now I do. Now it's just a little more expensive, but
Yeah.
so where am I going with this? So that was one of the reasons why I was a little nervous about going out to other people's channels, is because I don't ever want to make this about me. It's not about me. And I'm here because of the Last Prisoner Project. And because I believe in it, I can speak with confidence
Yes.
and
Yep.
that's kind of where I was going with
I was
that.
going to say, on the same token, if you didn't go there, I was going to say, on the same token, that's why you're able to, quote unquote, sell the Last Prisoner Project so well, as a good event of what it is, because you believe in it. And I
Yeah.
agree with that. Like, we always say that with the couple items that we have below as discount codes. I always tell people, Uncle Rick, I'm not trying to sell you anything. But if you're going to buy it already, and we believe in it, there's some way to save some money. But if you don't want to buy it, that's fine too. Hell, and a lot of times I'll tell people, when it comes to my product, if you like someone else better and you want to use their code, go for it. I'm telling you, it's a good product. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
integrity, man. That's really trying to help other people out. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind getting a couple bucks here and there, and a check, whatever, but you can do so without being a scumbag. And I think that that's kind of like how your sales, that's how you were representing your sales. Like, if you didn't believe in it, it makes you feel bad, man. Like, I'm not into this. Well, how can I take these people's money and shit like that? So that shows integrity, Uncle Rick. And I dig that. And I also wanted to mention that I know for a fact that when you first got a hold of me, you were trying to get this on like maybe a bigger platform to host other than your own channel. That way it would just reach more people. And I remember my first thought is like, that is so unselfish of you, even though you have your own channel. And it makes sense, because when you have, under 1,000 followers and somebody has 50, you're thinking, well, we want to host it on your channel. But like, we found out that there's security issues and stuff that make it almost impossible to do so. But yeah, man. I think when you go on these shows, that people enjoy it. I know we're enjoying it, and I was looking forward to this as soon as we thought about it yesterday. And I'm going to be in the chat following you around all day, my wife and I. And
Most definitely.
so we'll be here.
Exciting.
Yeah, this is all good. This is good fun, man. And so
Here.
I like that the people are coming out for you, Uncle Rick. This is a pretty good come out this
Wow.
early in the show. So they're here to see you and listen to what you have to hear. So let me shut up.
Well, I want to say thank you again. I really am. I'm so grateful. So I wanted to continue on where this all came from. So once we decided that it'll be the Last Prisoner Project, then we decided that we should form an advisory committee. People, content providers in the community that would maybe consider supporting this cause. So we selected, like, I believe 8 people, and I sent out a message to them saying, listen, this is what we have in mind, and what do you think? And the response was overwhelming. It was just like, I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. And this is where I think I'm going somewhere with this. So it started there, and then we started putting out feelers, and you think what I have to do is I have to when I have a thought in my mind, I have to mention it. And it's about Dr. MJ. Dr. MJ got involved early on with us, and was like, all I was thinking about was the fundraiser, okay, bringing awareness to everybody about the prisoners who are incarcerated for nonviolent cannabis crimes, and the letter writing program. And that's where I had focused all my attention. It wasn't until Dr. MJ came along and said, well, so what about sponsors? And it just went right over, like, sponsor. Oh yeah, well maybe we should have some sponsors, but you know, God damn it, that's a key part of the whole game here. So this is who you have leading this thing? No, no, no. It's all of you. It's every single one of you in chat. It's the steering committee, the advisory board. It's just been uh, and I could never have conceived this idea. So I'm always be grateful to Baked for even for entertaining the idea. And I hope he's doing well. He's going through some illness right now, and our hearts are with him. And so hopefully he'll be there for the show.
Here's to that, man. I think it's a great concept. A lot of people respond to like the old school, the old timey like telethon sort of deal. You know, it kind of for some of us that are, I guess maybe over like 35 or whatever. You know, you can remember back, like especially on like I want to say it was like Thanksgivings. We would have like a big dinner, and they would have like a telethon on PBS, and you know, it kind of brings back warm feelings when I think of that telethon. When I heard that chatathon, that's exactly what I thought. I was thinking, how corny is that? But yeah, I like the fact that it's that way, and we've already had, Uncle Rick, numerous conversations in the background about how this idea has spawned other ideas for maybe possibly next year in the future, and different other things. And it's pretty cool how it's perpetuated itself down the line, and it could possibly be something that continues on, you know?
Yeah, because we're not free until we're all free, right?
And I won't rest. This will go on. This chatathon will continue until every person is free.
It'll be a great day when you can cancel the chatathon for good, right?
Here, 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 here. And when the Last Prisoner Project has to close their doors. Right now they have a shit ton of work ahead of them. So yeah, so like those three things that I mentioned before. Oh no, actually, could we please jump into the sponsors? Like I said, this is something I never even thought about, and then suddenly I started reaching out to my friends, and nobody would say no. Everybody said yes. It's absolutely stunning. Now, starting here with sticky mackerel, this is a 24 by 30. Where am I?
I got you. I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming, Rick. There you go.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good.
This is a sample of some of his art. What this is photography overlaid, like hundreds of pictures overlaid. I'd like to get him on and maybe explain the procedure of how he prepares, how he does these. But it's absolutely beautiful stuff. So there's now. Could we go back to that prize pool again, please? By the way, we're probably well in excess of $1,500 retail, and I'm again. I can't. I was
that's
in some cases.
You're right, Uncle Rick, and it's awesome that these people have come out like you mentioned. And here's the list of them. I'll let you tell them off.
Yeah. So, and after Sticky Mackerel, we've got Crazy Pop Mom, and she makes these beautiful pendants. And this one here it's actually reversible, so you can wear it. You can wear this if you're wearing a certain thing, or you feel in a certain mood. You can turn it over, and you've got another one there. So
I love that. I love that about that.
The red side literally glows.
Yeah.
Like it's got radioactive stuff in there. So
cool. So that's from Crazy Pop Mums, and really grateful for that. And
look forward to getting to know Crazy Pop Mom and all these people a little bit better. This is something that's bringing us all together. Like I wasn't even aware that they were making this cool stuff until now. So these are all byproducts of this good cause, man. Like, you know, it brings us together, and this is cool, man. This is a paint, pour paint. I don't think what that is. That's a cool process. I saw it on YouTube and I was blown away.
Exactly. And Crazy Pop Mom does a lot of this, a lot of the pour art. And actually, this is a friend of mine, his wife. She made this pour art for me. And if you excuse me for a second, I'm just going to go grab. Well, we're looking at it. I don't have to grab it. We're looking at that's what again, my buddy's wife made this these two leaves here. It's a combination of pour art and painting. It's really really cool. Maybe if I show it, excuse me, just a sec.
Yeah, sometimes in person you can different angles and stuff there. Yeah.
We got you spotlighted, Rick, so everyone can see you. We got you spotlighted, Rick, so everybody can see you, buddy.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
That's
look at
beautiful.
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
it looks really like thick oil paint. That looks cool, man.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got
Yeah,
relief.
that's spectacular. So yes, this is
And
another.
not only is it an awesome looking picture, Uncle Rick, if you have that on your wall, you know, at home, every time someone comes, think about the conversation piece that it becomes here in the future. Like you can say, you're not going to believe where I won that and what the cause was. And, you know, and that's going to, how many times in the next 20, 30 years is the word chatathon and shit going to come out? That's cool. Cool,
Yep.
cool.
And it's well, it isn't signed, but it's she's got a stamp there with her name on it. So, and we're not wishing for her, you know, poor health or for her to pass, but that's it's a one of a kind. Oh, by the way, that that paint or the art that Sticky Macro is donating, that is out of I think it's out of it's number 10 in a series of prints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be like a short, only a couple of them exist then, you know, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. A series.
Yeah.
All right.
And
We'll get back on here. Let me
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
put
Okay.
him up on the screen. Then we got, I think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, Skunk Ape Glassworks was doing something special just for this cause, and things didn't quite work out the way that he wanted it to, but he has got some beautiful, and we'll as soon as we can, we'll get that up on the website. He's giving us four pieces of oh darn, I'm gonna
I think he called them spoon pipes, maybe. Were they spoon glass or something?
spoon pipes. There's one's called a chillum, and then there's marbles, all kinds of really cool. And again, these are all unique items, things that you can cherish. And again,
talking to this skunk, I'm sorry, Rick. After talking to that Skunk Ape Glassworks, they mentioned something like they layered these pipes with different glasses to represent like you know, community and involvement and how we're all together in this and stuff. And I thought it was pretty cool that, you know, that's how their mindset is when they're coming into this and when they're making this being their thing. And so cheers to everybody on here. Everybody's present or everybody's thing is like very unique and personalized, and I think that makes it a lot more special, you know.
You know, I'm going to, as bad as I am at all of this, I'm going to try to go into my Instagram chat messages.
You have co-host ability, Rick. If you want to share the screen, if you look at the bottom, you'll see a green dot that says share screen. And
I tell you what, thank you, but I'm just gonna read this.
Okay.
Okay. These are the descriptions. We're having a little trouble, technical difficulties. Please bear with us, but we're gonna get his work up on the website really quick. So here's the descriptions. The spoon pipe is made out of random colors of glass, kind of to represent that we're all different and from different places, but weed brings us all together, even if we can't all be together. So he puts, you know, he's philosophical and he puts meaning into every piece of his work.
Like
he said the chillum has kind of a spacey type vibe going on. Just thought it would be something cool. The marble sets too consist of one implosion top marble, one chaos middle marble, and 6 hype strain OG seed sprout terp slurper beads. So this is something that will be coming up on the website, something to look forward to. So
you make me feel old, man. I think that's all stuff for dabbing, and I have no idea.
Yeah, that's for the dab aficionados there.
For dabbing. What the hell? I know they have all this different stuff for dab. They got ash catchers and everything. I don't know.
No, give me a
Beans.
rolling paper any day. I'm sorry.
You know, on a side note there, I always see Skunk Ape Glassworks in the chat, and they're a good grommy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Always interacting well and bring like you know, good
Good
vibe,
energy. Yeah.
to the chat all the time. So that's great to see. I'm not surprised they jumped right in head first, you know.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Marcus Green Thumb, the American one, another sponsor for the show. Thank you so much for
We're
you
getting to him. He's coming up shortly.
yeah, we're coming up. Okay, now we've got Mrs. G Bay. She again, she made all of these. These are resin coasters and a matching dish, and that's Mrs. G Bay's contribution. And okay, now we've got the American one. So what we're working on, again, so grateful for the generosity in the breeders community. And I don't have the list in front of me, but the American one, OK Calix. And please help me along the way. Oh, Spartan. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that we have personally grown Amy Aces from the American one, and it's one of the favorite strains we've had in a long, long time. And it's fire, man. You know, it's not just us that say. I've talked to Jack Greenstock and all these other people. They have very similar experiences, and yeah, Talos got some good gear, and I think anybody who comes across that as a giveaway is going to be super excited as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 strains, right? It's his Amy Aces and then the other 2 there. Godiva, I think it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say if the American one beats me to it,
I vaguely remember Godiva for some reason.
Taking care of Heli Doc, and he's always doing that, man, helping people out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here we go. The Amy's Aces, Godiva, which is the Godbud times Cheesequake, and Ophelia, which is the OG Kush times Godbud times Cheesequake. And
Ophelia.
Yeah, so that sounds super good, super tasty. I'm gonna jump off. Hey, I'm gonna have to be in the chat trying to win those whenever my time comes around.
Yeah. Oh, and so okay, I will move on to but I just, while it's on my mind, so again we had and again thank you to Dr. MJ who we had a discussion about, okay, how do we distribute now? Okay, now we got all these prizes. How do we distribute them? Do we have raffles? Do we do this? Do we do that? And he reminded me that you know, people are already there because they want to give, and you know, to make them. So that's how we've decided to. All you have to do if you want to win these things, show up. Okay.
Show up and hang out in the chat and wait for the opportunity, man.
And then what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to pick a we're not going to force people to be there for 12 hours unless you want to play it in the background, but we're going to try to designate a certain time every hour where we'll be handing out prize. So the idea would be to, you know, if you're whatever you do, please come back around then, and then you will qualify to enter for to win one of these prizes. So
yeah, I mean, our main hope is that everybody will come together. This good community will come out in spades and donate a couple bucks if they can spare it, or you know, maybe write a letter and help brighten someone's day. And you know, I think just getting everybody together, that how you want to say, the crowd mentality can be really good for something like this, you know, because people see everybody else, like you kind of feed off of each other. And I think when you're giving things away and stuff, people are, you know, it's a good time. And I think people will see where their money's going, because we're going to go up here and come up here in a little bit and explain like exactly where the money goes and how it might be doubled and all that other stuff. But let's go ahead. I'll give it to you and let you finish out here first. And I got some.
You know what? I feel like I've hijacked your show, my friend, and that was not my intention. I just get so excited.
You're supposed to hijack it.
I know, but I get so excited about this. But I tell you what, let's go through the rest. Yeah, let's go through the rest of the the sponsorship, and then I'd love to hand it back to you and Crispy to talk about the why don't we can for the next little bit talk about the letter writing.
Sure.
Okay, so and again, this is this trim bag is donated through the grow sponsor from Trim Bag, and very grateful for that.
Yep. And
Yep.
the last but not least so far, and then there's some other ones that's still in the works, right, Uncle Rick? That's not up here.
Absolutely, and you know, I don't want to say anything that is not, you know, that not true. So, but there are people, we're still working on stuff. We still got 7 days to go. So, yeah. So Extract Craft is putting up a source turbo concentrate extractor. So
what an awesome lineup there, and that's an expensive gift as well. I mean, I think the trim bag is like $250 or something. So some of these people are really coming out, and the extracts, they are $600 US, and I've heard good things about that.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, darn, it was something about the sponsors, but no. Hey, it's me. You get to know me.
I'm smoking a joint and just rambling on. I get excited too, Uncle Rick. Sometimes I gotta tell myself.
Oh my goodness.
Here's your website, man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your website real quick before we do this?
Well, no. Why don't you take your show back? Take your show back and tell us about the letter writing program.
Yeah, there we go.
So we have a good question in chat. Can you use Venmo or PayPal to make a donation?
Oh, that is a great question. That's one we've
okay. What is the short answer? Oh, no, the best thing to do would be to bring up their website. I know they take credit card. As a matter of fact, I think they take crypto. If maybe I can.
I'll try. I'm getting it up right now, Rick. I'm going to try.
Which site?
And then go to thelastprisonerproject.org.
Yeah, that's where I am.
And okay, and then they will and then thank you for reminding me, Scrubs, but we are going to talk about Dutchies. That is incredible what they're doing. And good morning, Green Goddess, good to see you. The Happy Cultivator, I'll be seeing you in a little while. Oh, now this is a little hook to get people to follow me today, because Hemp with Gigi has invited me on his show at 4:20 Eastern this afternoon, and he wanted me to show my grow. So it was a long thing, but I finally figured it out, and somehow I got it to him. And so anybody's interested in seeing my joke, come on over to Hemp with Gigi this afternoon, and I'll be proud to show it to you.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good. I can't wait to go check that out, Uncle Rick. And we definitely want to. Happy Cultivator is the co-host over there, and we definitely want to send everybody that way.
Now, if you say go to, up in the right corner there, hit donate and see what they say up there. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't tell you. I'm curious. That's a good question. That's a damn good question.
There. I'm sorry. There we go. There we got PayPal,
yep.
Credit card, or bank transfer. Now, I'm not familiar with is that I don't think that's in Canada, or I'm not too familiar with it. And what would be why would somebody want to use that as opposed to a credit card or PayPal or a bank transfer?
Bank transfer is potentially like direct deposit in Canada.
Yeah, we have that in Canada. Ironically,
they don't have it in the US though. So that's potentially the bank transfer is the direct debit, right?
Yeah.
Like we have.
Yeah. And then of course credit card and PayPal.
You might be able to set a PayPal up by way of a Venmo.
Exactly. Either way, it's going to use your credit card. So your PayPal, but your PayPal can be linked to your bank account.
It could be. It depends what you have set up.
Debit card.
It's
in
funny because I
Canada?
just set up a PayPal like 4 days ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a headache," and it wasn't that bad. I put a credit card on there, and I ordered a couple of things online, and yeah, it was pretty easy to do. But I was just sitting here thinking, like, if I had a Venmo card, I might have been able to just use that instead of my credit card or whatever. But that's a good question.
Yeah, I think
Uh-huh.
PayPal could potentially use your Venmo card, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think you might be able to do that. But
Several ways to go around it. Whereas the credit card, well, it's Visa, MasterCard, American
while we're
Express.
talking money, I think we're going to get to the letter writing, but while we're talking money, I know that the Happy Cultivator, I think it was brought up in chat. We mentioned a couple of times where there's a company, and I think this is a big deal because this makes people want to donate, maybe a little bit more eager to donate, is that they're going to match every donation. So, we were telling people, like, if it's $1 or $2, that helps, man. And they're going to match it, which, boom, you add all of that up over the day and it's going to make a big difference. So cheers to Dutchy. I'm not even really sure what they do. I think it was a point of sale company, Uncle Rick.
I got the impression from what I read about them is that they are, I believe they're a software provider for retail establishments, and
Okay.
yeah, so they
They
do
picked a
all
great
the
cause.
provide the software, and yeah, and they are committed to contributing equal amount. Donations up to $1 million. And I think at this point so far this year, they're in excess of 250,000. So they're in the right, and now we're going to be part of that. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's by the way, we have Andrew D'Angelo on the show on Wednesday, and he is the co-founder of the Last Prisoner Project, so I'm really excited to meet him. And one of the questions we'll be asking is about administration costs, and thank you, Tao, for reminding me, but that was one of the very first things that I wanted to look at. Actually, I don't know, WEEDNERD, if I don't know if you can manipulate your way over to, if you
I
maybe go
wanted to
back to their
mention
home, go back
I
to their
wanted to
home.
mention real quick there the operating costs. I had this talk with somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned that they had worked with the charity before, and that sometimes charities, even though those numbers
Finance, yeah.
even though those numbers that we see here are big, a lot of times charities have to pay a lot of money just to operate. Like you mentioned earlier, Rick, there's a lot of like lawyers and fees and some overhead and things you have to protect yourself from. And it can get quite expensive just to get one up and going. So they said, don't be surprised if that number seems rather large. It doesn't mean it's going to the CEO, but I agree with everybody else. I'd like to know, I'm still
Yeah.
a work.
Remember when you asked the numbers there, Uncle Rick,
Yep.
about the because that's where I got those numbers. The 2020 annual report. It was 2 million in and 740,000 out as expense.
So that's
So it's a big
oh,
expense, but
like
at the same time, they're a
80%.
big organization, right?
yeah, and that's we're welcoming and
To make it all work. Everything else
we're
goes to the
welcoming Andrew
prisoner.
to talk about that. So yeah, it's
Yeah, he'll
something
be
we're
able to
all.
really explain all that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So that was my thought. But then when this offer from Dutchies came along, then suddenly I'm thinking, well, like, so I know that every dollar that I'm giving is going to go to the end user.
Right. That's a great point. And Dutchy's going to pick up the cost of the rest of the administration fees. I guess that's how you can look at it. That's
Okay. Hey, there's a perfect way to look at it.
Yep.
There's
But
you know what? The administration fees for the lastprisonerproject.org are zero. If you can look at it that way.
yeah, that's
Because
true.
Dutchies is picking up the all of that. So
And I think that's a great question to find out the answer. But I definitely I think despite what it is, they're still doing a lot of good. But it's good information to know. They have another thing on their website. I noticed. I wanted to tell people because like they have this thing, and I thought this was important to mention. And I'll probably bring it up again a couple of times, but. They have it's called for like an indigent fund. So when you go to prison, you have, as a lot of people know, you can put money on your commissary books, and when you can buy like warm clothing, because unfortunately prisons don't offer warm clothing, proper hygiene products, and half the meals you don't want to eat. So you want to buy like, some snacks and things that you can tide yourself over with. So anyhow, when you take and you put a guy in prison or a woman in prison for cannabis offense, you've just taken an income out of a family. And now they're in a system where they're not being supplied everything that they need to live healthy, so now the family has that extra burden of trying to send them money on their commissary books, every other week or something. So not only are they down on income, they have to come up with extra money on top of everything they had to do before to help out this person that's in jail. And it's really tough. So a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, it's a big number, but compared to their overall, it was like $135,000 or $85,000 that they had given just to help those who weren't getting anything coming in, and had nobody. And the sad fact of this is some of these people have been busted for flour more than once, and regardless of how we look at it, their family members might look at it as you keep getting in trouble and going to jail, man. You're not living right. And it's a shame. And then they kind of cut them off. They won't give them, they won't send them money and shit. And they kind of get fed up with them. And it's unfortunate because it's not the same as what other reasons that people go in and out of jail. Recidivism rate is relentless in jail, and people just continue to go back. But this is one that they're going back for all the wrong reasons, man. Like you said earlier, Rick, the bug is in you. I would never stop. Been to jail before. I'll continue to grow for different things, but I'll always continue to grow and come back. You have to, man. It's just, I don't know. It's in you, right? You have to keep it going, and you want to share the information with people and tell them like, you can do this too. And fuck the man for real. Like, you need this medicine. Our show personally has had multiple guests that come on and told us how, like Spartan Grown and ATG Acres and some of these people that I look up to, they've come on and told me out of their own mouths, my medicine has helped cure cancer on someone. And here's a perfect example. And it was an intimate example. It wasn't something they read in Hot Times magazine. This was something that, and there was other people too. I don't want to forget anybody. I think even the American one had a great story as well. But it's important that people continue to grow. It's important that people don't go to jail for this. It's important that mothers and fathers don't get taken away from their children or have their children used as pawn in the fucking court game because of this. And we could just go on and on about this. I see it all the time, man. It breaks my heart. So when this is very serious shit, and it's near and dear to people's hearts. So we need to know what they're making, but we also can't lose focus on what the fuck they're doing, man. And it's important, that it's important to find people like Dutchy that's going to help cover some of them costs. And it's important for this community to come out and tell them like, we're no different than any of those people. This is our neighbors, our uncles, our aunts. How many people, are in there for this? So it's important. I went on a big rant there, but yeah.
Hey, it's something that needs to be ranted about. It's crazy that people are sitting in jail for things that we're doing. It blows my mind that people are still going to jail for a plant. Now that sounds ridiculous. I went to jail over a plant because that's the reality of it. It's a plant, and it's a wonderful plant that has, so many healing properties and can only do good. I don't understand the evil side that wants to take it down, that does nobody any good. We all can benefit from this plant, and it is a great uniter. I'm grateful for this plant because, it brought me to where I am today and meeting all of you fine folks. And if we can help.
I haven't forgotten, I went to court because of the plant.
Yeah.
I didn't spend time in jail because I didn't have that much of it. But
that's
still,
gonna be,
it affected my life, I was,
Oh, for sure.
So
that's going to be
affects
our
everyone. Don't forget.
Yeah.
We were going to ask you to share your story with us, WEEDNERD, when we go on the Last Prisoner project. I wanted to mention that we're all going to have a story to share on our show. And
we've all been there. Maybe some of us didn't get caught, but you were in that situation.
Right.
We all were.
I'll give a little teaser and say our good friend Dr. Coco he's going to be on the show with us during our time slot that day, and he has a story or two that he's never told anybody, and he's actually going to bring them out for Last Prisoner Project Chatathon. And I think if you're like me, you're going to be curious to want to find out what he's been through, and yeah, I think everybody seems to either know somebody or has somebody that's been affected by this, especially if you're in it like we are. And I wanted to just take 1 second to say shout out to our buddy Small Tubes in the chat. They just had a hip replacement and they're back on the mend, trying to do some exercises. And I like to give them a hard time and tell them it's a good thing you ain't a horse, or we'd have to take you out back and shoot you, brother. But no, we hope you're feeling better, and that hopefully you got some medicine
Speedy
there.
recovery,
Yeah,
for
hopefully you
sure.
got something to toke down, make you feel good.
And for anybody out there suffering today, I wanted to mention Toasty's Burned had a friend pass away, and you have our condolences. That's not easy either.
Right. And then there's all the normals in the chat, the people that just come out in droves, and I see a lot of them are here for Uncle Rick, and there's the Flower Felon. How is that for an apt name for today's show? Flower Felon. Cheers to you guys. Oh, here comes Gigi.
Oh, great. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you.
Cheers, Hemp. All right, we'll get Hemp with Gigi introduced here, and then maybe me and my wife can go over to take a minute and go over the letter writing campaign. We'll get that part, and then we'll get back to Rick taking. We like when you hijack the show, Rick. That's what it's all about, man. This is Uncle Rick's 2 hours to just let it fly, man. And it doesn't matter if you start at the beginning and end it, or start at the end and finish in the beginning. Just have fun, smoke down, and we hope you enjoy your time with us. But looks like Gigi's still connecting up here. Let me maybe take this down for 1 minute, Weed Nerd, and so I can see the screen. All right, cheers, Gigi.
Cheers. I couldn't figure out how to get in. I don't know what that was about.
Uh-oh. You all right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. I was trying to get in, but I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I had an unexpected guest show up at my house. You guys know how that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope it wasn't the guest that was
Yesterday.
near your house yesterday.
Or hope.
Right.
That was a perfect. Maybe you want to save that for your show later, so I won't jump all through it. But you had a perfect thing happen to you that was. I shouldn't say perfect thing happened to you. I don't want to put it.
Hope.
Perfect relating thing.
Yeah, it's very relatable to the topic.
No, you can totally talk about it.
Well, I was blown away by the number of hits. So Gigi, I'll tell him. I want to be the one to tell him. Gigi was able to rub it in the face of the sheriff's parked right outside his home, and he was sitting on the porch toking down a buckhorn, and he made a little video, and he wrote on the video, when you finally it turns legal and you finally get to rub it in their face a little bit, and he's sitting on his own property smoking a joint. And I had like my whole body filled up with pride when I saw. I was thinking, "You lucky bastard!" But go, you know.
Yeah, that was awesome to see, Gigi. Like, and as we move forward in legality for all the states, I hope to see more and more of these videos. And I think it's awesome that you shared the normalcy of you. That is going to be normal someday, just smoking a joint and there's a sheriff standing right there. It'll be like everyday, everyday business. And I cannot wait for that. It's starting to happen when I see videos like yours.
Well, let me say this. We weren't the only ones that loved that video. It started picking up 50 views a minute or something like that. It got 2,700 views in like 2 hours, man. So everybody was tuning in to check it out. And I was thinking, tomorrow, Gigi's having a show with Uncle Rick, and how fitting is that? Maybe you could play that for him later, Gigi, on your show. After all,
actually, you sent it to me. You did send it to me, but I don't understand it. And I got to tell a little story about me and Hemp with Gigi yesterday. But I didn't realize it was a video because I don't understand this shit. And so I just looked at it and okay, well, that's cool. And I read the caption, but I didn't click on it. So I got to remember to click on this stuff. But anyway, so Hemp with Gigi asked me to do a video of my grow. And what a fucking nightmare. Like, oh my God. Like just, it sounds simple to some people, but to me, it was overwhelming. Anyway, finally, I got it. I finally figured it out and got it over to you, my friend. But here's the thing. So what we're doing is we're not showing it here. If anybody wants to see my grow, they have to come over to your show this afternoon so that we can show it there. Okay?
Yeah, and that's at 4:20 on the Hemp with Gigi channel. My wife can maybe over the next couple of minutes, pop the link in the chat, or somebody with the wrench can pop it there in the chat. And make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already. And we'll get to see Rick's grow, and maybe Hemp with Gigi will be able to screen share that little video of the sheriffs or something for us, because it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I did, like the first one I did, it was like over 7 minutes, and then I tried to upload it and go, oh my God, and no, it's too big, and I tried to make it smaller, and then finally Hemp with Gigi helped walk me through it, and I uploaded it to YouTube, and then I sent it over that way. So
make it private, send it to them, send the link to them, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And after I did it once, you know, I'll probably forget by tonight, but
that's how I am. I do something once and I never remember. I'm thinking, how the hell where did I find that file at on this computer? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I totally could share just a 3-minute description of kind of what happened yesterday, because you described it perfectly, how it fits the prisoner project and the whole stigmatism behind it.
Yeah, go for it. All you.
So yeah, the funny thing about that and how it fits that so perfectly is they were here for somebody down the road, something with some CPS stuff. But first he was kind of parked in front of my driveway, and then he backed into my driveway. And the old thought process of mine, I immediately grabbed I have probably over 2 pounds of marijuana on my floor. So I grab it all and I hide it in the back of the bedroom. I'm going into like panic mode, and I stopped for a minute. And I was like, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to confront him like, hey, what's up? So I go out, I get on my porch, I light a joint, and he gets out of his car, and you kind of have that heart palpitation. And he walks up and he's like, hey, I'm so sorry. I just needed to park here. I'm waiting on a phone call. Is it okay? I'm here. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. So that's when I sit down and took the video, because it all hit me at once. Like, what really just happened? That was uncomfortable and relaxing all at the same time.
I can imagine. Cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've heard other people say that after legality hits, they're like, I think it was you too, Uncle Rick said, once you realized it was legal, it still was like, boom, your heart starts pounding, you get flushed a little bit, you're like, shit. You start cupping a joint, maybe, if you're walking with one.
It's 35 years of looking over your shoulder there. Yeah,
like exactly. No,
I shake that there in a year or two.
No, even 10 years after it became legal, I was still looking over my shoulder. Absolutely.
It's like PTSD,
to be honest.
WEEDNERD has mentioned the same affliction, man. He's like, dude, I wouldn't even look it up until they legalized it. And I always was scared. And so it's bullshit, man, how they got us shook to the core.
Keep you out of jail behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that it does make more sense. I'm learning so much about things. I'm also microdosing mushrooms, and I got to tell you that it's really been enlightening. I'm doing a lot of inward,
right.
I really haven't done a lot of that in my life, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Reflection. I mean, I'm on that. I like to feel that little bit of a buzz. I at first I was doing the microdose route, and there was something there, absolutely something there. But then I thought, well, I like that little buzz, and so I just started dosing more and more until I could feel that, and then I get the enjoyment that I enjoy from it. But as I'm coming down, that's when I do a lot of reflection, and it works for me.
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes I try to reflect, and I try to hold myself to the same standards that I hold everyone else to. And I think, I can do better, man. So self-reflection really makes me, it's powerful stuff. And I imagine on microdosing, it's a whole different thing. That's something I've thought about doing often. We talked about it on the show here a few times, and I'm very interested in that. I think it was Spartan that brought up a lot of the microdosing and was talking to us about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Rick. Hopefully that you'll get some benefit from it. Oh, there's GG.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Now, so we took a pause in the action there, and of course, maybe an opportunity for somebody else to speak. But so I'm making notes, and I just wanted to make a couple of quick comments here. One, going back to like the prisoner. You know, that whole experience of going to prison, you know, is like it's something that if you don't think about, you really don't, you know, realize. I did spend, and it wasn't for cannabis, but I did spend a short term in prison. I'll probably elaborate more on it. It was only 10 days, but it was in a federal prison. And what they did in those days is if you're in for a short term, or well, the federal prison was built for the long-term prisoners, anything over 2 years, lifers and all that kind of stuff, or short term. And that's the category I fit into. So I was in for 10 days. I was 14, but somebody bailed me out eventually. But it was 23 hours in my cell. I had 1 hour to wander in the yard and eat. Everything else was in my cell. So that was my brief experience. But in doing my research for the Last Prisoner Project, I came across, you know, you start doing searches and then the clickbait takes over, and before long, I've been watching a few people who have experienced prison, and darn it, I'm going to get his name because I'm really enjoying his series. His first name is Larry, but he's spent a shit ton of time in prison, and I happened to watch a episode recently, and it was like these are the 10 heads ups that you should, you know, if you're going to prison, these are the things that you should do or not do. And he talks about shit like making eye contact, you know, looking assertive but not you know, like
Yeah, there's a big difference between aggressive and confident. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, exactly. And when you go into the shower, you know, we all got the sour jokes and all that, but no, when you go into the shower, you're like, what are they wearing? Where are they standing? How many? You know, I mean, you've got to pay attention to all this shit, and this is what they're doing. This is what they are doing.
You got to be careful where you walk in the yard. You got to be careful, all that shit. It's great someone's putting that information out there, because if you walk through the wrong area, they take that as a sign of disrespect, you know. And if you you know, there's just certain things you don't want to do. Like you go to the shower, you wait until other people in your crew are going to the shower too, and then you got someone to watch your back, and then you stick around and watch their back. It depends like the old jails are more open like that, like Western Penitentiary here in Pennsylvania. You shower in a big ass room with like 50 or 100 guys. Now they have other jails where there might be 5 guys at a time, or even 1, depending on where you're at. Hell, Rick, I was in a cell that had its own shower. It's called the long-term segregated housing unit. You fuck up too bad, they put you in there. Yeah, it's at least 6 months or more in a solitary cell. You have a dog cage out one door, and you have a shower in your cell that runs for 5 minutes every 24 hours. And yeah, man, it's ridiculous. It's amazing. Your toilet only flushes twice an hour, so you can't flood your cell. Yeah, you're allowed a Bible, flexible pencil, and 10 envelopes that are stamped, and that's about it, man. They bring you soap every day. They give you your meal in a blender. They put your whole tray in a blender, Uncle Rick. Your sandwich, your cookies, everything goes in the whatever. They put it all in a blender, spin it up, pour it in a baking pan, bake it in the oven, and they serve it called Nutriloaf. And what that is if you commit a crime, or if you act out on a guard with food. So pretty much what I did was I was in the hole and I kicked the tray through the slot. They just put my lunch tray through the slot. I kicked it. It went all over the guard, and they said that's assault with food. So now they made me eat this Nutriloaf for 30 days, and I lost a lot of weight from that. It's they don't have to give you appetizing food according to the Constitution. It only has to be nutritional. So all your nutrition's there, but it just tastes like shit, you know. And it's a way to use food against you. And the normal public doesn't know that, you know, and that fucks with you, man. If these people, and this is why letters are so important. If you're writing a letter to somebody, it really can break them out of a funk, you know. Like just write about current events. Tell them how you're feeling and different things like that. You can really change someone's whole attitude around just by even just one correspondence. And if you're willing to do continued correspondence, you can change someone's life for the better.
I want to acknowledge chat again. It's just so great to see everybody. And 710 Canister. Yes, Larry Lawton is this fellow's name. He's got his YouTube channel, and yeah, I just started watching him recently. But
You should put his link up there in the chat somewhere. If we can find it, somebody put it up there.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on one more thing, and it kind of can segue into the letter writing campaign, and that is when I started with Caribou. It was back in I'm going to go back and look. I think it was December the 15th, 2019, and one of my very first interviews was with a fellow by the name, he goes by Turpington. And extremely knowledgeable, and I'm sure a lot of you know the name. Well, he came back. I guess it was around 6 months ago to let us know that he was just beginning a 3-year term in prison. He's given me his blessing to use his name, and yeah, I you know, I don't know if we need a poster boy, but this whole thing makes it a shit ton closer to me, because I know him personally, and I've written to him, and it just makes the whole thing a lot more meaningful. I get it. And I can only imagine how cool it must feel to get a letter, and even getting a letter from a stranger who is empathetic with what you're going through, just to let them know that you're sorry that they're there, you're thinking about them, and you love them.
Yeah, man. Turpington, it sucks not seeing Turpington's name around, 3 years is a long time. Just think of how much is going to change in the next 3 years. Let's hope that someday they're going to unlock that door and say, you know what, everything's changed, Turpington, it's time to go home.
Well,
I was watching, I'm sorry for interrupting, but one of the Larry Lawton shows recently, and this buddy had been in for 25 or 26 years. And when he got out, the jail personnel took him to the airport. And when he was at the airport, he was getting out of prison and flying home. And when he got to the airport, he asked them if he could go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they kind of laughed and said, well, yeah, you're free. You can, just help yourself. And so he kind of had to stop and think about it for a while. And then he went into the bathroom, and he's having a squirt, and then he's looking for the handle to flush the toilet. And because he also said, or Larry said, that, when you're sharing a cell, you better keep that fucking toilet clean.
Yeah.
If you're sharing a cell, that's a no-no. Anyway, so there was somebody else in the washroom, and he could see that he was having trouble. So he said, it's a motion sensor. You just step away, and so he did. He stepped away, and it flushed. And then he went over to the sink to wash his hands, and the same thing. Where's the tap? So things that we just take for granted,
Yeah.
things that we
25 years, man. That's a long time. Just imagine everything 25 years ago. Nobody had a cell phone. They were looking down all the time at their phones. They were just walking around consorting with each other. He probably was looking around thinking, wow. And it is, you're right. When you use a bathroom in a cell, you continually flush as you go. That's the rule.
The internet was just starting, Yeah. 95-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I'm having a bit of trouble here because over on one screen I can see myself, but it's on a lag. So God, yeah. I'm really I do a lot of this, don't I? When I'm looking over at myself, I don't see me doing this as much.
I'm making you self-conscious.
He's making your idiosyncrasy stand out, Uncle Rick. That's all right.
Oh shoot. So yeah, darn it. Yeah, the letter writing.
You're good. We'll jump into that. Like you mentioned earlier, you contacted a bunch of people, and we're trying to see who could get involved. And my wife and I were eager to jump in. I know a lot of times I think the way that you guys realized that we would be involved is because we always try to take a moment on our lives here and say, you know, cheers to all the people that are locked up in prison over flower. And I think it was Baked or somebody heard that and was like, we should ask them. They seem to be like on our page with this. So when we heard about it, my wife and I, we were both excited to do it. And the opening was like, you kind of needed help on this other end of it, the letter writing campaign. And Rick was nice enough to ask us if we could kind of like take that part and see what we could do with it. And with the limited time we had, we decided to, yeah, let's go for it. Right.
Yeah. And it was nice to sit down and write letters to these prisoners, knowing that I might brighten their day just by, you know, everyday stuff that was going on in my town and just my experiences that week. You know, I didn't make them real heavy. You know, I wanted to let them know that I was out here trying to do something and I was going to be a part of something that was going to hopefully make a huge difference in the long run. And, you know, they said writing those letters will help, you know, let them know, give them hope that there is someone out here fighting for them. And I thought, you know, just to be asked to do this brought, you know, a lot of this, like I had no idea how many people were just sitting in jail over small amounts of cannabis. Like I didn't think that was possible, you know, in the day and age that we live in where, you know, we can buy a card off the government and go down to the dispensary and buy it. I never in a million years thought, you know, that people should still be sitting in a prison cell for a plant. Non-violent cannabis crimes. And then I started reading the stories on the Last Prisoner Project website and their letter writing program. You can do it online, or you can, you know, send a letter. That's how we did it. We sent our letters out, you know, just sat down. It was therapeutic for me, just like having a pen pal, like a Dear Diary situation where I could just like write about some things and like kind of debris, you know, just get away from the day that I was having and decompress in a letter writing, you know, just writing these letters out. So it really helped for me too. It was fun.
I tell people that there's a self-serving aspect of this, Uncle Rick. It makes you feel good to do this to help. Like, you know, it's something that's inside. You feel good inside. You feel like I was a small part of something that was much greater than myself, but damn, it feels good to be able to do something different than just strictly talk about us and our buds and our grows and how we do things and how we've been recommended. You know, it's just like, it totally takes you away from that for a minute, brings you back to reality a little bit and what's really going on in the world. And I'm with my wife. I didn't think I wouldn't consider myself naive, but I didn't know it was at the pace that it is as far as how many people are locked up, how many lives have been ruined and shit.
And it is scary because like, it's a scary place. Smart has told me plenty of stories about prison life that were just, you know, break my heart, make me cry, you know. And I found a lady that is doing time for cannabis. Her and her husband her and her boyfriend, excuse me if I misspoke there. They got caught together and her name's Juanita Kinsey. You can find her on the Last Prisoner Project. And, you know, it's hard enough for a man, but I don't know. Well, ladies, we're different, you know, we're nurturing. I just don't like it. It just breaks my heart that a lady is going to be doing time in prison for a plant. Not to say that that's like taking any away from any men that are out there doing, you know, time, but.
Well, you would be hypersensitive to a woman and
I can relate.
There's different needs that women have and things, and it would be harder to facilitate some of that being locked up, you know, and I think it's, I can definitely, I can see how it's normal for you to relate to the woman more because that's something that I often don't think about. When I think of someone in jail, I automatically picture a man, you know? So yeah, that's a lot different.
You know, I wanted to bring up a point. The American one is writing. He said, can they get newspapers in prisons or magazines? Can we send those to prisoners? And I think I did stumble upon on the website, on the Last Prisoner Project website, that you can buy a subscription to a magazine for prisoners. So I think they have some stuff set up.
Now I could say this one, whenever people used to send me magazines and shit, they didn't even have to buy me a whole subscription. But what they did have to do, now I will say this, it's been 20 years, so a lot's changed since then, but you can't nowadays you can't send pornography or anything like that. I don't even know if they can have like Maxim, but what you can do is, well, what you used to be able to do is if you went to a bookstore, which there's really none of those around, but you probably order it from Amazon, have it sent from Amazon directly to the prisoner. That's how we had to do it. You couldn't just have like your family send it in for obvious reasons. But if it came direct from the retailer, you were allowed certain items. And a lot of times these jails will have what's called an approved vendors list. And that's something you'd almost have to look into. I haven't had any time to like kind of figure that out. I think it would be jail specific and everything. So, but that's a great question. I know they do have on their website about what not to put in the envelope so that they can make sure that they get it. So if you write a letter, you don't want to put like newspaper clippings. You don't want to put like spray perfume on it. Maybe if you're a girl writing to a guy, like that used to be a big thing too, because you mentioned something earlier, Rick, about a guy getting out of jail and he asked someone if he could take a piss. I remember getting out, and after 66 months straight, and the first thing there was like 3 things that really hit me in the first hour. One was a woman's perfume. As soon as I smelled a woman's perfume, it was so strong, man, after all that time. 2 was exhaust fumes. And I hadn't smelled exhaust in so long, you know. And the third one was eating food. I went to Denny's and I started digging into the food and the grease. Everything's baked in prison, man. Nothing's fried. So once I started eating, I got sick as hell. And I was like, wow, like everything's changed. Then I come to my town and I know it's not a Walmart and all this other crazy stuff, but you're right. The changes. So that's why it's important to have just talk about mundane stuff, you know. And if you happen to find one of these people that might be from your town or near your town, you can even talk about like, hey, you know, they just opened this up or whatever, you know, just run of the mill stuff, man. And it makes a lot of difference. We were talking earlier about like people lose their contact with their family. So I think people would be quite surprised if they realized how little contact a lot of these guys get. So you might be like, if you're writing to one guy and you continue to do so, you might be 50% of his mail income might just be from you. And when they stop by your cell, when mail call comes, that's a good feeling, man. You get excited. It gives you something to do for the rest of your day. You get to read a letter, ingest what it said, figure what you want to write back, and get it all ready for the next day's mail call. And it does. It like they're consumed, and then it gives you something to think about. And it's just, it is. I think maybe us on the outside, we're so consumed with hustle and bustle and grows and work and life that we don't realize that little letter write, it might take 15 minutes on a weekday night, write that letter out. You just gave a guy a lot of comfort and something to think about and just some activity in his life, good for his head, you know. And I can say this from experience. I luckily had a lot of people on my side and a good, strong family that helped me, and that was invaluable. I could only imagine the guys that don't have that, and this is where we come in as letter writers. Not everybody can donate money, you know. Not everybody's in a position in life where they have extra money to spend or whatever the case may be. So you can make a difference. You can show up to the chatathon and be part of just the crowd and be positive and bring a good vibe to the chat. And you can write a letter and, you know, if nothing else, you know, maybe try to get on board for doing something in the next round and shit.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors.
Yeah.
And, you know, one thing I did learn from the last prisoner letter writing campaign is, you know, it takes a while for those letters to get to the inmates and then them to get a letter back to you. So don't get discouraged if you want, you know, to a letter back, and make sure you put your name and address in the context of a letter, because they take your return address off the envelope before they let the prisoner have it. So if you want a letter back, you have to include that information, and it takes a while.
Yeah.
So don't get discouraged.
And then if, you know, so we can get back to Rick here and some of the other aspects of this. If anybody wants any further information, if I do want to say that, man, I really wish I could remember the names. I don't want to call out the wrong person or omit somebody, but I've had 2 or 3 people now message me and say, hey, I wrote a letter, or I digitally wrote a letter. And I thought that was pretty cool. And it was, and then like we mentioned, our friend Scrubs and Shrubs there was that event he went to was actually yesterday, Rick. That's why it was such short timing to get him the information. And he was trying to spread the word at the Virginia Grow convention thingy yesterday, and that was cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's all fantastic. Yeah,
but yeah,
word
they
of
get a
mouth.
hold of any of us, man, and we'll help you with the letter writing and give you anything you might need. And with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Rick. Rick, I think one important thing I had written down here, I was hoping you'd touch on, is people want to know who's handling the money. If they are going to donate even just a couple dollars, they want to know, where does this go? You know, and I think
Okay,
that's super important.
That's a great question, and I'd like to go through that with you. There was something on my mind about the lastprisonerproject.org is a fantastic website, and they answer a lot of your questions are right there. And when it comes to letter writing, sometimes it does get tricky, and every prison may have different rules, but the letter writing program will walk you all the way through it. Now, I believe, and I could be wrong on this, maybe you can correct me, Crispy, but I believe that now, how does it work? If you want to, okay, I think maybe it works like this. Maybe the letter writer can keep their name from the prisoner, maybe they're just a bunch of potheads in jail, but there could be like we don't know, and so what I'm getting at is maybe I believe there could be a way of the letter writer to send a letter to the prisoner, and the prisoner be able to send a letter back without knowing what the address is. Am I wrong on?
Well, you are right. And Crispy stepped out of the room for a moment there, right, as you was calling her out. But yeah, you're right. There is a way, and I think she knows better. I think if you want to do it that way, Rick, you have to do it online, because what they do is you'll send the letter online, and then they take the letter, scrub off all your information, and send it from their computer. And then when the prisoner replies, he replies to them. They scrub off any information they want from him, and they're just like a middleman, you know.
Exactly. They're just the middleman. They'll handle the handoff, and so they're the ones that are sending you.
Okay.
They take the anonymity very serious, as far as what my wife was like explaining to me. Like they really spelled that out and stuff. But when she comes back up, we can ask her a little more. But I don't want to stop you, Rick. Go ahead with your thought, brother.
Okay, WEEDNERD, could you please go back to the Let's Be Buds website, and then please donate, and then if you can make that big screen shares or whatever you do there. Okay, so here this is basically to answer the question about the money. Okay, the donation goes directly to the lastprisonerproject.org. So what you will do is you'll be inspired to donate, and you will go to the Last Prisoner Project website, and in the upper right hand corner it says donate, and then it'll bring you to here. So here you can we can just go through it together, and the amount of the donation. Okay, now this is important. You want to click in honor of. Now, I suppose in memory of or honor of, it really doesn't make a difference. I would like to think that it'll, and as I explain this, hopefully it'll make a little bit of sense. Okay, so let's go with in honor of. Okay, and then down here, honoree's first name and last name is not relative. It's not important, but it's required that you put something in there. If you want to put in 2022 Chatathon, that's fine. Here's what's important, and I'll explain why, is that the recipient's email be lastprisoner22@gmail.com. And then further down, recipient's name, again, it's not relative. You can put anybody's name in there. Okay, now in the message to the recipient, this is this I want to say vital, but none of it's vital. It's all going to a good cause, and ultimate. It's only vital in the sense that we can track what's going on during the day. So uh, it would be cool if every time always remember to put in recipient's email, lastprisoner22@gmail.com, and then in the messages you can put in the amount that you donated. You can put in your Instagram name, or you can put down I want to remain anonymous. Or you can put down I'm a dispensary on the east side of town and I'm donating $100 and I want to challenge the dispensary on the west side of town.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's what happens. You send the donation directly to Last Prisoner Project. Within seconds, you will get a receipt. Okay. And at the same time, we will get acknowledgement that you made that donation. I mean, your name is private, but we will have your Instagram name. We'll have the dollar amount.
Whatever they decide to share will be shared with you. That way, we'll be able to say, cool. And then if we get that, we can always. And I wanted to mention, Uncle Rick, during the Last Prisoner Project, some of this will be streaming across the bottom of the screen, like some of the, what this is like, what was it, Last Prisoner Project 22? We'll have that maybe going across the screen so people will constantly be able to refer to that,
Yeah, and then there'd be another spot with a running total of how much money is being raised, and again, this is not about the money; it's more about the awareness. There's so many ways to give. There's so many ways to give back, and one of them is through donation. One is just bring more awareness to the plight of prisoners. 40,000 of them in the United States, by the way, 40,000 non-related, non-violent cannabis crimes. Yeah.
As you mentioned, Uncle Rick, it's not super. I mean, we want them to do that so we can acknowledge them. But if someone just wants to go and donate and not do any of that, that's great too. But it doesn't give us the opportunity to track what we're doing and try to keep track of it. But you could still recognize the chatathon and be anonymous is what I was trying to make sure that people know. You can write in Last Prisoner Project 22, so we know that it was donated by way of the chatathon, but we won't know who it was.
Something, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just realized something.
Yeah.
I'm giving a little bit of wrong information now. If you did that the way that I just explained it, okay, that'd be cool. But Last Prisoner Project sent me a link which ties into Dutchies, so that the donation is doubled.
So we have to use the link.
Exactly. So we will have that link posted throughout the whole chatathon.
Yes.
But it'll still go directly to Last Prisoner Project, and then the donor gets a receipt. The donor gets a receipt. We get acknowledgement. And Dutchies also receives obviously a mention that that they're to match that donation.
Right.
So that's what we'll do there. Yeah.
Right.
So are you going to have a link on your website somewhere, like if someone wanted to donate today or soon, that they could go and have that donation matched? Or you can have that Dutchies link on your website maybe?
Oh boy. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to work on that. South Nelson Farms, shout out to South Nelson. He's not only my go-to when it comes to tech stuff, but he's my web designer, and I'm just so grateful for he had no idea what he was signed up for when he said, "Hey Rick, I know a little bit about computers, and if you need a hand." And I'll never forget the time. I'll never forget. He said, I said, I'm having this problem, man. It's driving me crazy. And he said, okay, what are you looking at? And I thought to myself, you want to know what's going on in my fucking head? and not only that, you want me to interpret through my mouth what's going on, what I see and what I'm thinking and what's coming up. So I did. I said, well, there's this and that. And he said, well, try this. And I was back in business. So it was
South Nelson. He said he told me that he was going to be listening while he worked today. So to send a shout out to him for sure and say he's been imperative to helping us with the being involved in this. I've leaned on him a couple of times myself and asked him some questions, and he's like, I give him just a little bit and he does a lot with it, like trying to send him a trim bag picture and different things. And I know I didn't do it right, but somehow he ciphered it out and made it work. And so cheers.
I know.
Nelson. He's pretty good at that.
Great to see everybody in chat, and I hate to miss anybody, but I want to acknowledge Stoney, buddy. He'll be playing a big part. We haven't gone through the lineup yet, but he'll be Catachronic is going to be headlining the show starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and really looking forward to that. So that'll be fun.
Hey, why don't we do the lineup now? Is that something we can do now, Rick, or do you have
Absolutely. Although I'm looking at WEEDNERD, can you keep me off that fucking screen, please?
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't see my hands moving like this when I'm talking, but when I'm looking back there, fuck, will you put your hands down, man?
Are you Italian, Rick? I know the Italians they talk with their hands.
I think
Makes
so.
it way more
It's a
fun
little
when you talk
self-check
with your
about 30
hands.
seconds ahead.
Yeah, that doesn't help when you're seeing yourself like 30 seconds ago.
It's already happened. Exactly. Too late.
Yeah, so starting off the day at noon Eastern time. These are all Eastern times. So Smart Poker is bringing his show, and so we'll have the usual lineup of suspects. And Dr. MJ is going to be joining us for that. Yeah. And then following that at 2 p.m., Spartan is going to do an interview with Gray. Oh boy. Oh darn. I forgot her first name.
Bite Me podcast.
She's with, yeah, she does her own podcast, and she on edibles, and Spartan and her are talking about RSO and edibles, and I've left a spot open afterwards, but that conversation just may keep going. We'll just see how that goes, and then the open spot, I want to well, I know everything's not going to run according to plan, but I've invited so many other people to the show, and I'm sure we'll have no problem filling in the blanks. And after that, Cannabis is going to be entertaining us from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And hey, Dr. MJ's in the house. Yeah. And he just brings a lot of positivity and enthusiasm and excitement to the show. Going to be doing something special for us. After that, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., our Green Goddess is going to be hosting the Ladies of Cannabis. And I didn't do my homework, but hopefully by Hemp with Gigi, I'm going to have the lineup of everybody that she's bringing on. It's going to be a great time. Following that, I've snuck in another hour for myself when you can, if you can stand listening to me natter that much longer. Then followed by Home Grow the Community from from 6 to 7. Home Grow the Community will be taking the stage, and from 7 to 9, Cheap Home Grow will be airing from this channel, and we'll be welcoming Dr. MJ and Spartan Grown and Jack Greenstock, Matthew Gates. Who am I forgetting? The American one.
Brandon Russ. Yeah.
Brandon Russ. So that'll be a great time. And then rounding off the show at 9 o'clock, we have Catachronic, followed by the Chad and Dave show, which will basically, that'll be our Chad Westport if he makes it back in time, and Dave's not here, we'll be talking seeds, which is always a lot of fun. And then we'll be wrapping it up in the last hour, and patting ourselves on the back and thinking about next year, or going to bed, or and that's it. Yeah.
Here's Doc MJ just joined us. I wanted to say hello.
Hey guys, how you doing? Grower love to everybody out there.
Here's that.
We're just going over the day's events coming up next. What is it?
Next Sunday.
A week from today, and
today. Yeah.
I know. We're
closing.
You ready
for it, Uncle Rick?
Well, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. There's a few loose ends, but the show must go on.
There we go.
It's really been exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. And
That's
by the
awesome.
way, thank you for your contribution to, because I walked into this thing totally blind. I've never experienced anything like this before, and it got away on me. But you helped bring me back, put my feet back on the ground, and get my head straightened out a little bit. And yeah, no, it's going to be great.
Good. Good. It sounds like I roughed you up in the alley or something like that.
Well, I was saying earlier that it went right over my head. I thought, okay, we'll do a charity. Okay, last prisoner. Okay, let's raise some money. And I totally forgot about yeah, well, maybe did you consider having some sponsors? And I went, oh shit, I forgot about that little thing. And suddenly the sponsorship thing took off, and like we're over $1,500 in sponsorship. It's just incredible. And this is our first year. Just
There we
imagine what
go.
it's going to be like next year.
There we go. I see trim bag listed there. I think we can give primary billing there for the donation to trim bag. No, it doesn't have to go to grow sponsor. We helped arrange that, but yeah, trim bag was excited to get involved and, you know, appreciated the cause and was looking forward to being associated with an effort to work with the Last Prisoner Project. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, excuse me. I would like to throw something out there because I'm so dumb on this stuff, but I want to try to promote this. I want to, and again, not about me, not about the Let's Be Buds channel. It's all about the Last Prisoner Project. So I've committed to going out, doing what I think I can do. I'm hitting other shows and talking it up and doing that. But when it comes to Instagram and social media and all that stuff, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I would appreciate some tips on how to spread the word is what I'm getting at.
Do it with
Well, you know, asking for help is one way to help spread the word. I bet everybody that's listening to this show has some sort of presence online and social media. And, you know, creating a community that's going to help you sort of spread the message and get the word out there. I think that's how we generally, you know, reach a larger audience with a lot of the stuff that we do in the community at Coco for Cannabis.
Yeah,
I think I wanted to shout out. Well, Grow Sponsor was a big part of getting the trim bag, and that's run by Chella Coco, Dr. Chella Coco. Sorry, and I wanted to make sure to acknowledge her and her work in this, and she's helped me so much in the off to the side where nobody sees. But I wanted to make sure to say cheers to Dr. Chella Coco.
Absolutely.
and
I apologize.
I will make sure she gets the message if she's not listening. Smart.
Okay, I was saying Chelia for a long time, and it's wrong. My wife's like, "You got to stop." I'm like, "Shit, I didn't mean to say that," you know. And then we realized like I was leaving doctor off, and I'm like, "Look at me." I was like, "I got to really clear this up." So if she hears this, I'm sorry.
We actually met in grad school when we were both pursuing our PhDs. So she is a doc just like I am.
Yes, and that escaped me, and I definitely apologize. So, and definitely thanks to Dr. Chella Coco for her big help.
Absolutely, she's wonderful. We've really been having fun getting to work together more on these things. And she's kind of taken a lot of the managing of Grow Sponsor as her like baby project, you know, where she's really helped sort of step up the efforts there. So people really feel like they've got, you know, support as a member of Grow Sponsor. As you can tell, as Smart Poker feels, I think so.
Yeah, I think Hemp Gigi feels it too. He's part of Grow Sponsor as well, and the last couple of months has been leaps and bounds with everything coming around. And Gigi's actually helped me a lot there. So thanks, Gigi, for helping me find links and how to do stuff.
Yeah, it's all about growing together. I mean, It's all about just not being in competition. We talk about that a lot with what we do and the challenges at Coco for Cannabis, but it's about being in collaboration and everybody pulling in the same direction. And we can all be successful in this. And it doesn't have to be sort of like, oh, I want to keep this to myself, or I want to, you know, I don't want to like help these other people because then they're going to be bigger than me or whatever. All these kind of jealous, petty rivalries and stuff. it's just so much better when we can collaborate and everybody's sort of rooting for each other and collaborating with each other and going on each other's shows and doing stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Stony. He says, hopefully there's not a next year and they let these people out. That's what we're counting on.
We were talking about that earlier in the show. It'll be nice the day that we don't have to have a chat-a-thon and Last Prisoner Project can shut down their doors and close up for good. Everybody's at home with their families. Yeah, Rick, it's what else do we want to go over? You still got a half hour here.
Well, I just want to say, because it's on my mind, I truly believe that. And it's going to happen. I believe it in my lifetime, it's going to happen. And I have no other notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't either. I'm pretty much out of notes. I guess we're just hanging out. Doc, you got anything you want to go over?
Anything I want to go over? Like just like anything at all in the whole wide world of things, or like
anything at all. It's
specific to the event next week, or the Last Prisoner Project, or I just saw Hemp with GG joined at least the camera side of things. I didn't know they were on. So what's up, Hemp with GG?
I think they just disappeared.
They just hopped out.
Oh, they just hopped out.
Oh, it looked like they want to hit a button on their
Pull a
screen.
fast one on you.
Yeah, that happened.
No, I mean, it was clearly because, I scared them. Like, oh shit, Dr. Coco's going to talk to me.
Going back.
Yeah.
Do I have the power to let him in?
Yeah, I'm quick on the draw there.
Oh God! Now look, now Dr. MJ's the
okay,
I gotta keep away from my mouse here. Don't touch anything, man.
No, you're good.
Oh, maybe you booted him.
I'm still here, I think.
Okay, you're there. Yeah.
I think I'm here.
I think GG might have had a little glitch there. It was just unfortunate.
You get booted there, GG, or you boot yourself?
No, I don't think my microphone was working. You can hear me now, right?
Okay.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, I keep interrupting people, or can they hear me? And then I was like, it was quiet for a minute. I was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I didn't hear anything. So no, I had a quick question for Rick, or really anybody that knows the answer to it. I know there's a text number you can text to donate as well. And I was curious if we can also push them to the Last Prisoner Project YouTube channel. Does anybody know if that's official?
Oh,
Okay, I honestly, I don't have the answer, but I will get that answer. Okay.
Do you know
the donate on your website, you mean?
If there's
No.
a text,
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the
That's
thing
just
that
a demo,
and
right?
this is what really got me excited. Was I thought, if I'm going to get involved with charities, then I'm going to have to set up a foundation. I'm going to have blah blah blah, and Canada, United. It discouraged me. My hands are clean. I don't. All I'm doing is encouraging you to go to the Last Prisoner Project.
You don't get any money there. You know? Nothing's going to you.
Yeah.
Just a reference email to say how much you gave if you want to divulge that and who you are. So we can.
And if you don't, that, and so this texting thing, and there will be no direction for you to donate money other than directly to the Last Prisoner Project. So that's, and I hate to even bring that up, but there's so many scams out there that it has to be mentioned.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you want to cover your bases in the sense that there's no other donation links that will be made available. So if you do get one and it says "Let's be buds" and you want to help the chat-a-thon, it's fraud.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at their YouTube channel, and they had a short they did where they talked about text this number to donate. I just don't know if that's a legit thing, or if we can.
I think the problem there might lie, GG. I think it's a great idea what they're doing there, but for us to get Dutchy to be able to double our donations, it would have to go through a specific link, which probably connect to that. But I like your idea. Now maybe they can check and see if that's something we can do. Link it.
I just need something that can scroll at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. I was thinking like a text this number would be an awesome thing to scroll across the bottom of the screen.
It's important to know what the processing fees on that. Sometimes they can be pretty high that you end up, getting $7 out of 10 or something because you pay a $3 or 30% processing for those texts to donate.
This is why we have Doc here. Like I didn't even think about that.
That's why
That's
these
true. Like
meetings
the
are
super
important.
chats there where they rob you blind. They're 30%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That ridiculously expensive. That thought I had something I want to say about that, but it's gone. Oh yeah, no. No, I won't have that information by your show this afternoon, Hemp with Gigi, but I will get the answer and try to get all the details on
Will
it.
you have any kind of donation links that I could scroll down the bottom, or is none of that?
Okay, the short answer is yes. And if I was more organized, I'd well, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna make sure I got that. Figure out that link. Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
gotta
good.
go to
We
my
can
email.
talk after for sure.
You got a couple hours to figure it out, man.
Well, okay, yeah, but what time?
But
Okay,
you
I
said
could.
you have one. That's all I needed to know. We can definitely chit chat after.
Well,
No,
yeah,
no.
but if I can sneak it in now,
Ooh,
who
that'd be
knows?
nice.
Got it.
You know, in the next half hour, I'd love somebody to at least try it. And let me see. Uh,
I guess while you look for that, I heard Dr. MJ Coco started a grow journal over on the Grow Challenge. You actually started it.
I did.
I thought hell froze over when I saw that. It's like,
Oh, hey,
Wow.
I wonder
Well,
if
you know, I've started them in the past. I just haven't gotten much past where the current one is now. But I'm happy with my little plants. I'm growing along my little plants. I'm curious about these plants I see on Smart Poker and Crispy Wannabe's screen.
those little
Okay.
ones you see are the plant trade or the plant training grow challenge plants.
The party cups.
Yeah, those are going to be entered into the plant training grow challenge. They are 1 week old today since we scuffed them and dropped them. So
Okay, so that was on like the 3rd or 4th?
the 3rd, yep. It was at noon on the 3rd. So my plans are to flip at noon on the 3rd.
I'm
30
still
days
doing it on
October
the
3rd?
first. It's a race to
just-
the first day. I have to get them up and
Yeah, so
running.
October 3rd, I'm going to flip at noon. And a 30-day veg, there'll be 4 of those I'll keep and put them in.
Oh, you're not going to try to do the 28-day veg for the, October 1st flips? Well, come on.
I was trying 30 days. I was just trying something, and I was a little late on my germination. I wanted to see if my thoughts of a 30-day, and on our system, I think 30 days. I think we talked about this. 30 days. Yeah, veg is perfect, and then you flip 4 plants in a 4x4, and you should end up.
Well, you're going to try to mainline them. I think in a 28-day schedule, you'd still stand a chance of manifolding them for sure. I don't think you probably have time to mainline them. I don't think you'd have time for that 3rd top, even though it only takes like a couple of days for the 3rd top. But if you can get the 1st top, they're 7 days now.
Yeah,
you got 2 weeks. If you can get the 1st top by day 21, you'll be fine.
I'm hoping in 5 more days, roughly, I'll be able to get them out of that cup and either top them within a day or 2 before that or after that. So we'll see how it goes. I guess it's up to me to keep them on a healthy track and keep everything pumping right to see if we can get to 30 days.
Yeah.
If not,
I'll be surprised if you top those plants in less than 20 days from seed gets wet. I mean, I don't know that I've ever done that.
But we're going to try and see how quick it can be. That's what this is all about, to try to get the.
I mean, you could do it if you top them prematurely, right? If you top them before they get up to 6 nodes or whatever, before they fill out that solo cup.
Yeah, it'll have to at least be.
There's my week.
Maybe 5.
Real quick.
Let's see.
Time
That's,
lapse.
that's 7 days, or the 4th. I dropped them the 4th.
Okay.
That's
May the
cool.
4th be with you, man.
Yeah, I dropped mine on like the 30th of August. So I got a few day head start on y'all. And I'm growing in on the 3rd set of nodes now, but I'm still thinking I got another week at least before I top them.
Take off exponentially there. As the leaves come out, it starts to really take off.
Yeah. Mine are still a little weak, and I'm hoping they pick up.
No, you're doing good for a week old.
Well, I had to pop one up, man. One of them kind of got weak on me, and that always bugs me. And I have the light densities right around 500 already, so
okay.
Good. 550, I think, was the highest spot over there towards the middle a little bit, but they seem to be all right there.
Yeah, they seem to be all right. How frequently are you fertigating them?
3 times a day as
Yeah.
rough as I can. The other day I got them like 5 times, but I'm trying to get them 3 times a day. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing 3 by hand. You know, I'm giving them a little bit of dark cycle from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. because they've been issuing flex alerts for us to like dim the lights. I'm like, all right, that's when I'm going to schedule my dark period. And so I water them at 8, I water them at like 6 a.m. and then I water them, you know, in the early afternoon, like usually about 2. But I got them in the little, you know, AirPod germination cells, which are bigger than the solo cups, but well aerated. And I'll top them before I transplant out of there, I think.
Yeah, those are nice, those cups, and they make for an easy transplant.
Yeah, because you can just unwrap them. That's super, super nice. No flipping the plants upside down.
I'm curious to see what they do. How many you got going?
Well, I have 4 plants, but as many as 2 of them might be gentleman plants. And I don't really want to grow any gentleman plants. So at some point, I don't know, I was going to sort of bring that up. Maybe this is a good place to bring that up. Would you sex test them or just wait to the flip? I got 2. My God, now I can't remember the name of the strain, but they're just regular seeds. Should be really good seeds. I'm excited about them, but
I like the idea of taking clones, like you flip them right away. Like you take clones and then you flip that plant, that seed, instead of flipping the clone. And that way the clones are easier to manage.
I'm flipping everybody on October 1st. I don't have sort of time to.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I'm not growing out a mother, you know what I mean? I'm just like growing a plant.
Retard everything there because of the
they're already old enough that I could take a leaf sample and send it off to get a genetic test on it. And I wonder if that's worth sort of the cost. And I don't know.
I like it. I bought 10 of them, man, on the Black Friday sale. I still got a couple of them.
I mean, it's more space.
I think they're worth it. If you can,
than cost.
You got the extra scratch, man. It's quick and easy. You'll know which ones to get rid of right now, and you ain't got to waste time. And you'll know whether the 2.
So what test did you get?
I went with Farmer Freeman, and it was pretty quick, pretty easy. They send you an email with the results, and it was easy. They have a you can clip a sample and smash test it on one side, or you can just clip a sample and send the whole sample in. You put it on the other side. It's real easy, man. And it's I think they charge $15 a sample, and you might get a deal if you buy 10 or something. I'm not sure, but I still have 6 left, I think, and I'm kind of holding them for when I do some regular seeds. So I like that method. I feel like with the technology there, if you have the extra couple bucks, it's worth it, in my opinion. But
I wonder if I'm sort of doing the cost benefit side of this, right? Because I'm going to have either 2, 3, or 4 plants. I mean, that's one side of it.
So 2 of them feminized?
What's that? So I have two that are feminized and 2 that aren't, basically. So, you know, both the regs could turn out to be gentlemen, and then I'd only have 2 plants, or they could both be ladies. And
you only dropped 2, Doc? Oh, that happened to me with Amy Aces there. I got 2 Arnolds.
I beg.
Yeah, I'm prepared for 2 of her, you know.
For the mystery seeds that you talked about in the podcast.
Yeah,
the ones you had to have them tell you names.
Berry Blast F3.
Okay.
And I hope they're not both. I had more seeds too, but I was, you know, living dangerously.
So you're flipping on the first no matter what, though. Even if there's only 2, you're not going to extend your veg to more fill your tent.
No, I will literally downsize the tent to accommodate fewer plants. So that's the other side of it. I mean, I'm either going to end up in a 4x2 or a 4x4. I'll go to a 4x4, but only if I end up with at least 3 plants. Right now, I got the 4x2 set up, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I guess that kind of brings me to my answer to that question of sex testing is if you have a bunch of them, I don't think it's absolutely necessary to sex test, but like if you can only afford to have 2 plants be males, then maybe you want a sex test. I don't know why I'm struggling with that one.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be sex texting.
I
Yeah,
guess it matters how
sex
important it
texting.
is to end up with a certain plant count too.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, all depends on how many you can afford to lose.
I can afford to only grow 2 plants. I mean, if I end up with only 2 female plants, I'll just grow the 2 female plants, and then I'll probably shoot towards growing more than 2 plants in the NYGC when that rolls around. The PTGC is usually a good harvest for me. I like the December harvest. It's an easy time to dry and cure. And it usually, you know, for those of us that don't have like, you know, really advanced curing systems, it helps to have the right sort of outdoor climate, the right time of year. So I'd like to grow more than 2 plants.
Well, let's go back for a minute. 2 plants. Like I feel like you're kind of rubbing your cocoa in my face. 2 plants in 1 tent. That's some fast veg.
Yeah, I mean, I'll grow 4 square foot plants in a month.
Wow,
that's sort of
that
standard, I think. At least for my grow. And I've been talking to Smot about sort of the speed and the size of the plants, but yeah, growing a mainline or a manifold, really, they both take up about 4 square feet when all is said and done. You don't really have to grow them much after you finish the structure either. If you're doing, you know, high frequency fertigation during the bolt after the flip to flower, they'll bolt. I mean, they'll grow and fill in that 4 square feet, no problem. So in a 4x2 tent, I always grow just 2 plants. In a 4x4, I grow 4 or up to 4. I'm happy to just grow 3, to be perfectly honest with you, in a 4x4 too. And usually gets pretty close to full. Now, it's not as dense necessarily as your grows are, Gigi. And everybody has always sort of admired your sort of consistent, even canopy and the density of the canopy. But I don't know. It's probably, I didn't think that your plants were much smaller than that. For sure.
No, I appreciate that. It's just in the sense of how long it takes me to really be ready to flip the flower, where like you're saying, a month veg, where, you know, it might take me 2, maybe 3 more weeks to get to the point that Coco's at. So I've always envied.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference. I mean, that's definitely, I think, the difference in terms of where we pick up the efficiency and why it becomes sort of a lower impact to grow in cocoa, because we can shave those weeks off. And, you know, it's just weeks that we're not running the equipment at all. We're not running the lights at all because, like, you know, we've already flipped. But yeah, you know, 30 days is tight. And that's what we've been talking to Spot about. That's why I was curious about where these guys had all started their grows on, you know, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th or whatever of September. I dropped a little bit late, and now I feel like, I mean, I dropped on the 30th of August. So I think I got 31 or 32 days until the 1st of October. And that's like right on the limit of me at least being able to get a mainline train.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
like I'm not even topping it, so I'm just gonna LST, so that's gonna save me potentially a few days there.
The last 2 grows, it took 40 days for us to be able to get out a manifold all the way to the end and flip it after a couple days of recovery.
A manifold or a mainline?
A manifold, 40 days.
Okay. Well, you'll see. I'm keeping a journal. I think that's how this whole thing started. So
yeah, we're gonna get Rowdy involved because he's always giving you a hard time. And I told Rowdy, there's not many things that we as friends of Dr. Coco get to give him a hard time about. So this is the one thing. It's the journals. And we know you're busy, so we like to let you slide, but it's fun to follow along. You know, you're the guy that we all surround around.
Yeah, well, I didn't think, I mean, lately, when we first started doing the challenges, I gotta be honest, I did think I was like growing faster than other people oftentimes, but lately I haven't really felt that. I mean, in looking through the journals, I felt there's a bunch of people that are basically keeping that same kind of pace. I'm not sure it's really easy to go much faster. And we've talked about this too, Smart, like, you know, shaving additional time off of this schedule becomes tough. Where I've at least thought really hard about how to do it because of, like Gigi was saying, you know, reducing that veg time helps make things more efficient or can improve the efficiency of your overall grow. So down to, like, you know, how to germinate seeds as fast as possible and how to, you know, improve the health conditions and rooting in early stages and thinking through about sizes of transplant steps and the containers that you use for the transplants and all sorts of stuff like that. So
that's important. That's efficiency. That helps you get through paying less for your light, less veg time, less light cycle, cheaper.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's always felt like a part of the grow that other people are less interested in. Most people, when you just chat about people about growing cannabis, it's all about like the flowering and bringing out all the trichomes and, you know, bringing out the cannabinoids and stuff like that. Tricks to do late in harvest, which is obviously, you know, when we're most interested in the plants. But I love those sort of veg and training tricks and getting the plants growing. And that's what I love about this challenge is it's all about sort of, it focuses on that side of the grow. You know, plant training is really about veg.
Yes. We want to have, we got to bullshitting about growing and I lost track of time a little bit here. I want to
sorry, that's my fault. You at one point said, was there anything on my mind? So.
No, we're good, man. I apologize, Uncle Rick. I wanted to give you the stage again so you can let everybody know where you're going to be the rest of the day and let them know any of your last thoughts here so we don't go too far over. You take let them know, Rick.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I took over the whole show but I see, you know what? I see a pattern and it goes something like this, you know, it doesn't matter when, but I start smoking some pot and then I get nattery and chattery but then as, you know, as it kicks in, I find myself going like this and that's what I kind of am going. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I hope, you know, I'm thinking I'm really grateful for the way it worked though, because I really appreciate your support and we talked so much about so many really cool things that maybe I won't be so chattery later on the day. So at 4:20, I'm going to be joining Hemp with Gigi, and I sent him a video of my grow. So I think he's going to run it, and then maybe we can stop. I don't know how it's all going to work, but hopefully I'll be able to describe my grow. So there's something else to listen to than the same meow, meow, meow. I probably am going to mention my website, and that's the best thing to do is just go to the website and all of this information is right there for you. Let's be buds with a Z.ca. And thank you, Crispy. By the way, earlier I did do a post, and that post is the one that we are going to use to ensure that that Dutchies doubles our donation. I mean, if you just want to go straight to, I mean, this is wherever that. Can anybody see that website? I posted earlier.
Yeah,
okay,
posted the link.
Yours?
I saw.
Okay, and it says WW, all that stuff, and then Last Prisoner Project. So that link is again going directly to the Last Prisoner Project. Nobody else touches that money. That's all.
The donate, you mean there? Yeah.
But what's going to happen is if you donate, you will get a receipt within 15 seconds. We will get acknowledgement that you sent the donation, and Dutchies will also be notified that that you sent that donation. So yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Well, we appreciate your time today, Rick, and talking about all this and for spreading the good word. And we appreciate Dr. MJ. I know you're very busy as well, and to come on and spread some grower love and talk about a few things and raise awareness. Hemp with Gigi, same with you. Appreciate your time. We know you got a long day too, your own show later that we'll all be tuning in to check out Uncle Rick's grow. I'm excited to see that. And
I think I'm close to day 60. I think I'm day 58 or so. It's beautiful.
I can't wait to see it. Can't wait. And I want to definitely thank our good friend WEEDNERD co-host for being Johnny on the spot with the computer today, sharing everything. Good timing, and for being here and giving us good interjection all the time. We appreciate you, buddy.
My
And-
pleasure, man.
And chat. I mean, there's just not enough words to express my love and appreciation to chat.
That's true. Without the chat, the shows are nothing. And that's where I came from, was the chat, watching Jack Greenstock and all these other guys, the Michigan Brothers Grow Show. And Coco for Cannabis was a big inspiration for what we do here. The collaboration, giving back, you know, we try to, all this knowledge that we have was given to us by, you know, Coco for Cannabis in the chat room, most of it. And we try to give it back as freely as it was given to us. So that's our big motivation. And I think the Last Prisoner Project fits right in with that mindset. And it's a group mindset too. And all these people are coming out. So we might run a couple minutes over, but I want to give everybody their fair share to say goodbye. And as always, it's ladies first. So if my beautiful wife wants to go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Smut. It's always fun hanging out with all of you. Thank you, Doc, Uncle Rick, Hemp with GG, Weed Nerd. Thank you, everybody in chat. I want to remind everybody if they could please just write a letter. If you got an extra 15 minutes just to sit down, write a letter, and mail that out to a prisoner, you'll make all the difference. It was awesome and always a pleasure. You all have a wonderful day and grower love.
Thank you, babe. Do you want to go next, Weed Nerd?
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, Uncle Rick, for starting all this up and getting everyone going and sticking to it. I know it looks intimidating, but you're actually doing a really good job. The website looks really fantastic, and hats off to you guys for pulling this off. And I'm honored to be part of it. So yeah, grow love to Chad, grow love to everyone on the panel for participating. And yeah, we'll see you on the 18th, man. It'll be a great day.
Thank you, Weedner. And I do want to remind everybody real quick before we continue is that we will not be here next week. Next Sunday, you'll want to tune into the Let's Be Buds channel to catch our show. And with that being said, we'll slide over. Let's go right down the line here. Hemp with GG, you want to go next? Tell everybody where they can find you and your show. Look for a link in chat.
Yeah, I'm a little out of breath. I heard some dogs fighting outside and I couldn't find mine. So it was kind of one of those moments like, where's my dog? But yeah, it's in the bedroom under the blanket. I'm in for GG. I'll be doing a show at 4:20 p.m. EST today with Rick and Smart Poker and Crispy. And I would love to invite your co-host and anybody else, Dr. MJ Coco, or anybody in the chat that just wants to continue this this live. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Hemp with GG, or YouTube with Hemp with GG, or over on Coco for Cannabis. You can also find me over there. I definitely encourage everyone to check out the Grow Challenge, and growers love everyone. Catch my breath.
Thank you, Hemp with GG. Next up, we'll go with Dr. Coco. We appreciate you coming by, buddy.
Yeah, guys, I'm really happy to be involved in this. Uncle Rick, thanks for putting it all together. And, Smart Poker and Crispy Wannabe, thanks for everything that you're doing to sort of amplify this, to Hemp with GG, to Weed Nerd as well. I think it's a great cause. I think all of us in the cannabis community should be able to get behind, a cause like this and help out people that have been imprisoned for enjoying cannabis or being involved in cannabis. So the Smart Poker says this show won't be on next week, but it will be just on the what channel?
Let's be Buds.
Let's Be Buds channel.
Yeah.
So be sure to go to the Let's Be Buds YouTube channel now, before next week and subscribe and set a reminder for yourself that that's coming up. So you get the announcement, you don't, show up to the wrong place. It's going to be going all day. And I'm going to be doing like 2 different shows that are coming on to do their sort of guest placement on that telethon. So, you don't have to make a donation, but if you can't make a donation, I think you should challenge yourself to write a letter. Get in touch with Smart and Crispy. Have been putting together that. And it's just, I love to see these kinds of efforts, being made in the interest of collaborating with the larger community. So I'm Dr. MJ Coco from cocoforcannabis.com. I love all you guys over there, and thanks for the support. I invite everybody that's not to come and grow with us in the challenges or any other time. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Smart, and grow love, everyone.
Grower love, guys.
Doc MJ, and last but definitely not least, man of the hour, Uncle Rick, spreading the word. Cheers to you. Tell everybody your final thoughts, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the platform and the opportunity to shout out the Last Prisoner Project to a few more people. Where did I want to go? Where else did I want to go with that? Oh, just that, yeah. So probably the best thing is go to our website, and from there you can figure out, if you want to get in touch with us, or you want to be part of the show, or make a donation, or no donation, no donations.
Wait
But
until
there's
we
many
get
ways
that
to many ways to play, and gee, I was just thinking, could we put that special donation? No, that's not going to work. It's going to have to go in the link. But I just wanted to say one more thing, and that is, you know what? Giving is a very selfish thing. The more I get involved in this little big project, the more the better I feel. And giving, it can be defined as a selfish thing. So if you want to be selfish, join the party. Thank you very much.
All righty. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you on Let's Be Buds next Sunday. Grower